Hello, everybody, and welcome to another mini visual episode of Pod Stallions. I'm Brian, and right next to me over here is Jason.
Hello, everybody.
And we decided the fun topic for December would be Christmas wish lists. And the idea behind this was, what if Santa was real and we could ask him for a few things and not have to pay for them? I don't know about you, Jason, but I'm one of those people. I don't ask for toys or pop culture things for Christmas. I usually ask for mundane things like socks and shirts because I don't have to pay for them. I don't know if you're in the same boat as me.
Well, to be perfectly honest, I have no one to ask for any Christmas stuff from. So usually it's drugs. I just see
Usually it's drugs, yeah.
For the holidays. And hopefully
ear medicine, I assume.
Mostly ear medicine, foot medication,
yeah,
and morphine. Not gonna
Excellent.
Yes. But no, I get that. But it's nice to I'm sure you treat yourself. I'm sure you maybe highlight one thing and go, I'm gonna get that one little toy for myself for Christmas, or that one book or something. You're pretty good at that. You've done that before.
Oh, sure. Usually I do that with a gift card or something that a family member gives me. So it's sort of roundabout.
Yeah.
The only crossovers I get personally are like DVDs and things like that I might ask for, but that's about it.
Right.
So what inspired this for me was perusing actually Entertainment Earth, and I'll get into that. Of things like, I'd love that, but I can't justify its cost. And, if Santa was real, that's I'd ask for it. We had a couple of different categories, and that was modern pricey collectibles. We had Blu-ray box sets or CD box sets. And finally, one vintage item, shoot for the moon in terms of value. So why don't you tell me your first modern and pricey collectible that you put on the Santa list?
This is just such a weird thing that I came across a couple of months ago, and I didn't know it was happening. And there's something nostalgic about it. It brings me back to a different time in my life and a thing that I love, etc. So it is a combination of a brand new thing, but it's vintage at the same time. Mm-hmm. So I forget the name of the company, American something, has done a limited edition number of the James Bond 007 Secret Agent Attaché case.
Oh, wow.
And they're numbered. And what they've done is they've taken the multiple toy makers Attaché, which is from 65, I believe, which I had for many years. I think it was missing the knife, and I found it later on its own or something. But it's, the one of the grails of the Bond stuff from the 60s that everybody wanted to have, because it's, it's got a rifle that you put together, and it's got a code book and a wallet with fake money in it, and 007, Universal Exports, the company that the fake company, business cards and stuff. Anyway, to find one complete is very difficult. To find one boxed is a fortune.
Right.
So one many years ago, and it was when I was really into collecting Bond stuff. So what they've done is they've clearly gotten the same mold for the case. It's plastic, but a higher end plastic. There's the code book, there's the Code-O-Matic machine, there's the billfold with the money in it, and the business cards and so on. But what they've done differently is there's no knife, and they've taken the rifle out and put in this other toy that Multiple did, which was a shooting camera, like a little, 16 millimeter sort of, handheld camera that people had back then, that shot plastic bullets out the end of it. And they've replaced the rifle with that in the case. And then they've also added these gold coins, which were in From Russia with Love. So it's the case is modeled on the one from Russia with Love in
right.
But The only place you can find it at this point, because it's kind of sold out, is at 007.com, and it's $595.
Yikes.
Yeah, and immediately you see that price, and I go, what the? And then I go, oh yeah, it's because of the Bond license.
Yeah.
The Bond license is six figures, no matter what you want to do. That's why when you look at the Playmobil Aston Martin, the retail for that was like $80, as opposed to the retail for the DeLorean from Back to the Future in the same line is like $30 or $40. They just have to. Everything Bond is completely overpriced because the license is so damned expensive. But it reminded me of, the Bond films of the 60s and Connery and all the stuff that I love. It reminded me of collecting way back in the early 90s. And I thought, well, there's a nice expensive one I wouldn't mind having.
Yeah.
So there you go. That's
wonderful. Yeah.
Brand new, but vintage in a way.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. My first pick is very similar. It is retro, but also slightly vintage. And that would be the Super 7 Mecha Godzilla that
yeah,
they want to come. I don't know the name of it. I will try and look it up, but it's basically a Shogun Warriors Mecha Godzilla, just like we never got as kids, but would have wanted.
Yeah.
Entertainment Earth had this for sale for about $394, and it comes out next August.
Damn.
I looked at it like for 24 hours. It was in my basket because I have a little bit of credit at EE, and this would have completely wiped it out. And then I would have still had to pay something at the end of the thing. And unfortunately, the next day when I finally committed to do it, they were pre-sold out.
Wow.
So I'm okay with it. I felt a little relieved, like the universe had made the decision for me.
Yeah, it's sometimes that's kind of an interesting feeling, isn't it?
Yeah. But I would very, very much love to have that. And if they make a Jet Jaguar, I will not be able to stop myself. And
yeah.
It's a hard purchase to justify because, like, I'm a vintage toy collector, and that's, you can get some seriously decent vintage toys for $394. So yeah, I'm okay. But if Santa is hearing this, I would love to find one of those under the tree, even though that's probably impossible.
And that's one of the more reasonably priced Super 7 items these days.
Well,
because that shit is expensive. The production costs.
They're a boutique house. This is. You'd think it would be a lot more, but this is Godzilla, and I'm pretty sure that the order quantity on this is a little higher.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Is there a limited run on it? I mean, there must be a limited run, right?
Yeah, but I mean, I don't think they're making 20 of them.
No, but like 4,000, 5,000.
Yeah, probably somewhere around there. Yeah.
That's a lot to get rid of in one go. Yeah.
Yeah. But it appears to be working. So what would your next pricey collectible be?
Well, this is just it. When you're saying pricey, you think, okay, well, it's nothing. I don't need it, but and I'm not a, it's a tough.
You don't need any of this stuff.
Yeah, it's a tough question because I'm going through a lot of purging again myself, just looking around, going, if there's a fire or if there's an earthquake, I gotta get stuff. I'm stepping over stuff. Like, come on, it's time to move on. There was a box set that came out that I missed. I forgot to pre-order, and now it's gone. A music box set. But there's a set that came out. This is ridiculous, but there's a set that came out. Paul McCartney and that website put out a box set, a wooden crate of all of McCartney's 7-inch singles from the time he went solo until the last year.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them are exact duplicates of the ones that originally came out. Some of them are this is the Australian single for Hi Hi Hi, and this is the Japanese one for Junior's Farm, and this one's got blue vinyl and all these. So it's a weird kind of mixture, but it's, I forget how many are in this case, but it's like $750.
Yeah.
And they limited it to like, I think 2,000 sets maybe, or 1,000 sets or something. And I just was flipping around and seeing these people like doing their unboxings on YouTube. And look what I got. And it's huge. It's a huge, big wooden crate filled with 7-inch singles that you're never going to play. But, but there's something about it that I'm like, yeah, I wouldn't mind having that.
Yeah.
In one go. Just because it's $700, like, yeah, I'll take it. Yeah, give it. Yeah, I'll take it.
No, that's a great example. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
They keep doing these reissues, which is a crazy thing, and you think about it anyway, because the people that love reissues are the people that already have the albums and know them by heart, but they want extra stuff. And they put one out for All Things Must Pass, George Harrison's first solo record, a year or two ago. And they had like 4 different editions. And one of them came in a wooden box that was like carved out of a tree that was on his estate. And it had a little set of 3 pewter gnomes, just like on the cover of and it was like $850 for this thing. Like the box sets jumped from like, $60 for the 3 discs, and then $120, $250 for this, and then like $650. Like, who can get this stuff? Who can be that much of a completist? I don't know, but they sell out.
Yep.
It happened. What's your next one?
Have you heard of the company 1612?
Yeah, 1612 used to be
Product Enterprise. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they seem to like a lot of the same things I do. And you do.
Yes.
But I've been they've caught my eye recently with all these Space 1999 sets they do, and they don't just make one thing. They make sets based on episodes.
Oh yeah, they keep doing different Eagles, right?
Yeah, and the Eagle to me is like one of the most perfect science fiction vehicles ever. It may be my favorite spaceship of all time. I think it kind of is, and the stuff they're doing. Usually, I'm immune to this kind of stuff, but they have these sets, and the one that I really like is from the episode called Dragon's Domain, which is a first season episode. It's got that big tentacle monster in it
in the hallway that eats people.
Yeah. If you saw it, you were scarred by it as a kid. And that set is so cool. It comes with the little escape pod and the probe. I just, I would very much like that. But at 229 pounds, it's going to stay in England.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because they did. I wanted to get that set. I'm not even a Space 1999 person. But I wanted to get the stun gun and the communicator thing.
Yeah, my friends got those.
And that was like 250 pounds.
Yeah.
And then I looked at the figures. The figures looked cool too. They got like 6-inch action figures from the show. Sculpts incredible. They're like $60 each or something.
Yeah.
Like, I'm good.
Yeah.
They're not good. I'm good. That's
so am I.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Well, so now you want to go to like a vintage, or something like DVD or CD type thing.
Well, let's do DVD and CD type things.
Okay, you do DVD. You do a DVD thing first because I have an idea, but you go.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. There's a box set out right now from, I believe, Arrow, called Weird Wisconsin, and it's the films of Bill Rebane. I like Bill Rebane movies, but I don't love them.
I just saw this at Amoeba. They have it on the shelf at Amoeba.
Yeah. And I think I saw it at Sunrise. And I love these box sets based on these crazy auteurs. I just bought the Ray Dennis Steckler, and I love the Al Adamson set. But now they're kind of, I think Severin has one for, I can't remember his name, Andy something. I don't know their films that much, or I'm not as familiar, but I do, like, I'm a bit of an extras junkie, and I love watching films with commentary, and especially, that I love, garbage B movies, and this guy made quite a few pictures, and it's interesting to me, but I don't want to buy it. So if it was gifted, I would take it. And I think that's where I'm going with that.
So wait, how much is it? What's the retail on that? Like, is it, because those get pricey? Is it
Well,
separate?
that's the other thing. They get pricey, and you sit there and go like, this could be a real dud too.
Yeah, it reminds me of the and I'm what am I like worried about talking out of school? Like, no one involved with this project is alive, but the Vincent Price, the Christopher Lee, the Euro Crypt of Christopher Lee, Volume 1.
That's Severin.
Fucking hell, trying to get through that box set was like, just, I mean,
yeah.
Some of them he's in for 5 minutes and they're just unbearable to watch. Then there was like the anthology show that he hosted, sitting in a chair. Like, they got him in for a day.
Yeah.
A mustache to just do the open and close. And then the show itself is like some German thing that is, dubbed and, just like, what the I know it's a Euro Crypt, but come on, help me out.
Yeah.
So that was a pricey set.
Yeah. The Weird Wisconsin is $110.
Yeah, you might want to see the movies first.
Well, I've seen a couple of movies before, but the idea of seeing them with commentary and all the bells and whistles is fun. But yeah, I don't think it's something I could go, I'm glad I spent $100 on this.
Well, that's the tricky thing about like Severin and Vinegar Syndrome and stuff. Like, sometimes, especially Severin though, they get a hold of stuff that nobody is going to release, and that's at the same time they're smaller, so they got to charge more for those box sets, and they start to become a fortune. And the quality, to say the quality varies is putting it mildly.
I'm a huge fan of theirs because I do like weird and obscure films, but you can't have it all.
You can't have it all.
Yeah.
You can't have it all. DVD set. I'm having a tough time with this because I'll tell you what I wanted to get. This isn't a big set, but they're $50 each, and so there's 2 of them. In the UK, is it Zavi? Zavvi? Zavi? The website that does like exclusive steel books and.
Yeah, I'm not really sure I do, but yeah, okay.
Well, they've put out a 2-disc set of the Peter Cushing Doctor Who films.
Okay.
The first one and the second one. But they're really nice, like really beautifully done. They're remastered, beautifully done artwork on the front, original artwork on the front of both. They come with lobby cards, like a comic book reprint, a coin, a metal coin, each of the 2, a different coin in each one, and all new packaging and a bunch of new extras as well.
Wow.
So I've wanted to get those for a while, but I think they're $50 each because they're an import, I think. And yeah, I'd put those under the tree if somebody could.
$50 for movies that I'm meh about, even though I love the property.
And that you've owned in every format since flip books, basically.
No, not those. No, I owned them on VHS, and that was about it.
I've had all.
But it'd be, like, I can't think of any way how 20th Century Fox can get another penny out of me for Planet of the Apes. I have Planet of the Apes on Super 8. I have it on 16 millimeter. I'm done.
Do you have the monkey head, the Cornelius head?
No, I couldn't bear that.
You didn't get that, huh?
I thought it was horrible.
Really? What?
And I believe it was Caesar. I didn't like it. I don't like oddball. I like my box sets to be in a rectangle.
That's surprising to me because I would have thought if anybody would get that day one, it would have been you, because it's a freaking head of.
No. In Japan, they released it in a model of the Icarus, the spaceship.
Oh, wow.
And I would give anyone, $200 just for that. I don't need the discs, just the ship.
What is that? What does the disc set in Japan with the ship go for?
I've never been able to find it. It's really rare.
Wow.
Yeah.
Leave it to the Japanese. That's a perfect segue.
Leave it to the Japanese to make something I want. What a shock.
That's a perfect segue.
Mm-hmm.
If you had to say to me, pick a vintage thing that
Mhm.
you've never seen in person, that you've never held, that you've never owned, that I've always wanted, Edai grip in Japan
Mm.
in 1977, and there's a theme going in this episode, obviously, made the Lotus Esprit for The Spy Who Loved Me.
Mhm.
Corgi made it as well, and
So did AHI.
Corgi always made nice stuff, and the Corgi one had the flip out bumpers in the front and the little things that come out the sides, and then they
Mhm.
had little holes in the back that you put the little red missiles in, and you can press the button and shoot the missiles.
I asked my nan for that corgi, and she gave me the Goldfinger car, the Austin Martin.
Oh, bless her heart. I hope
Well, you know what? It
I
did
hope
lead me down the rabbit hole of wanting to watch Goldfinger, which I did.
There you go.
And so, yeah, I'm grateful for that. I still have it. It's right above me.
There
Anyway.
you go. So they put out their version of the Lotus, and it's fantastic because the box has Roger Moore on it, with the shoulder holster, like pointing a gun at you.
Mhm.
Japanese writing, 007 James Bond. But even better, the car itself, in typical Japanese fashion, isn't just the White Lotus. It's got a Union Jack sticker on it. It's got 007 on the side of the doors. On the front, it says, Esprit, but then 007 across the thing that's going to shoot the missiles. It comes with little missiles that shoot out the bonnet instead of the back section, I think, like Corgi did.
Mhm.
The doors open up, and also the wheels flip inward, just like they did in the movie once it went underwater into sub mode. I think it does some other stuff too, but the first time I knew this existed was 100 years ago when I was collecting Bond stuff, and there was a magazine that came out like 4 times a year, or maybe 3 times a year, but it was a labor of love, and it was like $12 an issue, called James Bond Collectors Club News or something. And you'd go through the pages of this black and white magazine and see, I mean, they were gathering information. Like, it's the first place I saw, Tomy did their version of an attaché case as well that has Connery on the inside, and it comes with one of those pistols that shoots the little round pellets. Things that nobody had really seen or were aware of were surfacing in this mag. So the only way to really know this stuff existed was to get one of these magazines, kind of.
Yeah.
And the very first one I found, first copy I got, had this, and it was like, look what just surfaced in Japan. This was mythical up until a few months ago, I've been mildly obsessed with it since. It's got to be a fortune if you could ever find one. I mean, I don't know if they come up for sale on eBay or anything. But
That's one of those pieces that's troublesome because, like, I used to do a lot of bidding on Japan auctions, but usually I went for things that aren't that popular in Japan. They're Japanese toys, but they don't. But the minute you enter into something that both American and Japanese collectors are looking for, it becomes insane.
Right.
And I got to think that I don't know if I never knew how to say it. Is it Idai or Edai grips?
It's EIDAI. So it's Edai. I always thought it was
Edai. That could be.
I think it's maybe one of 2 things that Grip made for Bond. It may be the only one. I forget, but it's like one of those. There's these interesting, things in Bond where, like, Lone Star had the license for 20 some years and always made the cap guns from the 60s forward. But then along comes a company called Crescent in 1981 and puts out a die-cast Walther in a box for Your Eyes Only. And it's the only thing Crescent ever did for Bond. So it's like those little things that you go, so Grip is making a Lotus. Did they ever make an Aston Martin? No. That makes it even more special to me. It's just a weird one-off thing. And when you see the images we'll put up, I'm sure, of the packaging and stuff, it's right out of 70s Japanese toys. Like, only Bond. And there's nothing. I mean, there's loads of Star Wars stuff that Takara made. A Vader and a 3PO and an R2 and an X-Wing that folded and shit. But this is it for Bond. So that would be mine. What's your pricey vintage thing?
This one's been really tough for me because I have,
you have everything.
Yeah, I'm a content guy, and I'm happy if I never get anything off my top 5 again because there's more to life. But I guess if I had one dream item, it would also be Japanese. And it is the Miria Ultraman Tarot set in the box. Now, I have a loose one, and I'm grateful for having it. What it is it's an 8-inch Mego figure. It's actually, the body is from Mego. And it is a suit like Captain Action that you put on this 8-inch character. And the head has a very Japanese look to it. And it becomes Ultraman.
Ooh.
Now, there's rumors that there is other characters, but I doubt it. I really don't. But there's only been one in the box that I've seen in the last 10, 15 years, and it went for... This is another one of those things, yeah, lots of Americans want it, but lots of Japanese collectors do too. And I think it went for something like $7,000 or $8,000. And I don't have $7,000 or $8,000.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. Well, I'm taking notes because you never know. There's still time.
Mm-hmm.
Still time.
Maybe if we wish hard enough and we were good boys, we'll get it.
Click our heels.
Click our heels.
Might happen.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. That's a boy. Listen. Hey, nobody ever said we were cheap dates.
No.
But we're easy to read. Okay. We're easy to figure out in a relationship.
We're easily bought.
It ain't that hard, man.
Yeah.
We're not complicated men.
No
one understands us but our women, for sure.
This is correct.
We're not complicated men. There you go. Well, that's a fun little fun-size Snickers, if you will, of a show.
Yeah, and if you want to chat with us, you can hit us up in our Facebook group, Pod Stallions, and be sure to check out Jason's channel and his show, Plastic Soul.
Yeah, on the Entertainment Earth YouTube channel.
I'll put a link in the description.
Please do. I'm having a fun time doing it. It may continue, it may not. I have no idea. We could all die tomorrow. But it's fun doing it, and there's some
Happy holidays, everybody.
Happy holidays. Enjoy your last breath. There's great comments, and people seem to dig it, but I hope you all go check it out as well, because I'm really enjoying doing it, even though I hate being on camera. Wonderful.